So the next exercise we're going to do with Michaela is just having 2 poles in a straight line, and we're going to work on her ability to ride a set stride length. So these 2 poles we've got here now for a normal horse would be about 6 strides apart. Her horse is only a little fellow, so he might do 7, but of course he also has a fairly long stride and doesn't really know how to collect yet. So he may even do 5 down there. It'll depend which rein we go on too. He's a bit longer on one side than the other. So the challenge here is the first thing Michaela's going to do is canter down this line, keep a light seat over our poles. She doesn't need to lean forward, just lighten your seat. Stay straight, we'll count the number of strides. We'll try and establish a bit of a pattern there so she can ride it the same way each time. And then we're going to try and shorten the stride and add an extra stride in to make the canter adjustable. That's the more difficult one. Shortening the stride and keeping the horse together. Once we've done that, then we're going to lengthen the stride and take a stride out. That's actually, for most people and most horses, the easy part, to lengthen the stride. So we'll play around with the distances here. So what we're doing now is working on Michaela and her horse's ability to adjust the stride to a certain length, to recognise how short or how long the stride needs to be in order to fit the distance between the poles. Keep your weight in your stirrups. Let's canter down the line. I like it. I like it. 1, 2, 3, press. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Good. We're going to make it even harder now, unfortunately, for him. Let's see how you go with this. You might get 7.5. Let's see if we can get 8. But you're going to canter around, and when you're coming around the corner, you've got to give some little half halts. Keep the leg, because we want the horse to stay in the canter, but we want to shorten the stride. So to shorten the stride, keep your shoulders up, keep your leg on, because we want the hind leg to stay active, but we want to shorten the front a little bit. So we're going to have a shorter, rounder stride. It's going to be quite difficult for you, but let's see if you can do 8 strides down that line. Short, oh, you're going to struggle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You did it! But what you've got to make sure that you don't try and do is just one big wrestle and pull hard. You've got to do a little shorten and soften. Little shorten and soften. It's a balancing act between keeping the leg on to keep the impulsion, to keep the energy, but also closing the front up a little bit. Yeah, just closing the length of the stride, but keeping the impulsion. So why do we need to do this? When you go to a bigger fence and your striding's not quite right, you need to be able to keep the stride a little bit shorter, so you don't get too close to the fence, but still keep the energy in the canter so you've got enough power to jump the fence. Also, don't forget, a long flat stride produces a long flat jump. A shorter, rounder, more compressed, more energised stride produces a shorter, higher jump. What you're going to do now though, is the easy part, is you're going to, in a moment, you're going to canter on and you're going to ride him nice and forward, and you're going to do 6 strides down that line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. How easy was that one? So what do you need to do to be better at it? You need to be able to be more consistent. The 6 is easy, the 7's pretty good, and it's just the 8. You need to be able to produce the 8 more often, more consistently, and that just comes through practice and lots of positives.